Hi everyone, welcome to Edubbey Global Solutions. On today's episode of IGCSE Biology, we'll be looking at chromosomes, genes, and proteins. Genetics, the study of inherited characteristics and the way they are passed on from one generation to another is called genetics. Inheritance is the transmission of genetic information from generation to generation. Sexual reproduction and inheritance. Production of offspring by sexual reproduction always involves the production of gametes and fertilization. The nuclei fuses and a young organism develops by cell division. Characteristics of the resulting organism can be understood by the behavior of the nucleus during cell division. For one organism to pass on characteristics to its offspring, it must be able to copy coded instructions and hand them on. True or false? True. Examples of inherited or hereditary characteristics are tendency to develop some diseases such as cystic fibrosis, permanent color of the skin, the contents of the nucleus. Special stains can be used to show up the contents of the nucleus. As the cell begins to divide, the contents show up as a series of thread like structures. As the threads shorten, they take up the stain. For this reason, they are called chromosomes, literally meaning colored bodies. The nucleus of a cell contains chromosomes in humans. There are how many pairs of chromosomes? In humans, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes and 46 chromosomes in total. To differentiate a gene from an allele, a chromosome is a thread like structure of DNA carrying genetic information in the form of genes. The gene is the length of DNA that codes for a specific protein, while matching genes on homologous chromosomes are called alleles. The structure of the chromosome. The nucleus of a cell contains chromosomes. In humans, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes, that is 46 chromosomes in total. Each chromosome contains a very long curved strand of DNA, and each gene carries the coded information for the production of a protein by the cell. In each human, there is enough DNA to stretch to the moon and back. Chromosomes carry genetic information that gives the particular characteristics to a cell. True or false? True. DNA, proteins, and the characteristics of organisms. The characteristics that a cell or organism possess depends on the proteins that the cell can manufacture. For cells to specialize in the many different ways they do, they must make different proteins. And the instructions as to which proteins should be manufactured at any one time in the cell are carried as genes on the chromosomes. Drag the words into the correct boxes. The DNA molecule is made up of nucleotides, and each nucleotide contains a base and sugar phosphate bond. Okay. Chemical tests have shown that chromosomes are largely composed of the enormous molecule called deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA for short. DNA therefore carries instructions as coded messages using just four different chemical compounds called nucleotide bases, organic bases. The names of these bases are shown in the diagram. We have the nitrogenous bases, namely adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. DNA code words. DNA are code words for amino acids. DNA in the genes instruct the cell to make particular proteins in the following ways. Each gene carries a series of coded instructions, code words for the synthesis of protein, and each code word on the DNA is made up of three bases in a certain sequence. Each code word, called a triplet, corresponds to a single amino acid on a protein. Uh, an illustration is shown on my right hand side. The sequence of bases in DNA is therefore a series of coded instructions for the building up of amino acids into proteins. The proteins can then give the cell or organism a particular characteristic, and this relationship between DNA bases and amino acids is called the genetic code. Certain physical forces cause the ladder of the DNA to twist around itself to form a shape similar to a spiral called double helix. DNA controls cell function by controlling the production of proteins, which includes amylase enzymes proteins in saliva, and enzyme proteins that controls photosynthesis. Keratin in hair cells, antibodies which play a part in the immune system, receptor protein for neurotransmitters in the nervous system. DNA in the chromosomes must be replicated. This replication must be carried out with great accuracy since a change in characteristics might be harmful to the organism and might cause mutation. Passing the messages to the ribosomes, the four different bases in DNA can be arranged in enough different triplets to code for all 20 amino acids normally found in a cell. Ribosomes are the protein manufacturing stations of the cell, found outside the nucleus in the cytoplasm. Coded information in the genes is located on the chromosomes, which are the nucleus. Coded information passed from the nucleus to the ribosomes in the cytoplasm by another type of nucleic acid called messenger RNA or mRNA. In the human cell, nucleus is the protein manufacturing station. True or false? False. Ribosome is the protein manufacturing station, not the nucleus. The ribosome assembles amino acids into protein molecules, and the specific sequence of amino acids is determined by the sequence of bases in the mRNA. What is needed in the cytoplasm to make proteins at a ribosome? We need the mRNA and amino acids. The X and Y chromosome. Each human body has 46 chromosomes. There are 22 pairs plus another two which may not look alike. These are the sex chromosomes. Female cells have two sex chromosomes that are alike, and male cells have two sex chromosomes that are not alike. The man's sperm determines the sex of his children, since the woman can only produce gametes with an X chromosome. A student used the diagram to explain the inheritance of sex in humans. That is this diagram. Which statements should she use to complete boxes 1 and 2? Um, A with the correct option. All have an X chromosome for box 1, and for box 2, half have an X chromosome and half have a Y chromosome. With which kingdoms do bacteria share the same genetic code? Bacteria shares the same genetic code with all other kingdoms, the animal, plant, fungus, and protist kingdom. The diagram shows structures involved in the synthesis of an enzyme in a cell. What is structure 2? Structure 2 is the mRNA, I suppose, correct? With this, we come to the end of this episode. Remember to check us out on www.edubbey Global Solutions for more information and materials. Thank you.